Hello and welcome back to another Ashes of Creation video. Today we're going to be going over the lore of Ashes of Creation, the history of the world, why you're there, where all the races come from, and yeah, everything you need to know. Now, a short disclaimer at the beginning of the video: all of the research material is available on sites such as the Ashes of Creation wiki, and opposed to other videos I've done, some of the stuff I'm lifting from the site directly because there's not a whole lot of speculation you can go into when it's precise lore. I know some people have gone upset about that in past videos, so just a disclaimer, you can find this stuff on other Ashes of Creation sites. Okay, so let's get straight into it. Now, I will not be going over the gods and the demons and religion in Ashes of Creation because I've actually covered that in another video, and if you want to watch that, I'll make it available here. And that is the gods and demons in Ashes of Creation, and then I will link the religions in Ashes of Creation at the end of the video. That will be on the religious nodes, but it also covers all religions. We're going to start off by talking about all of the different races in Ashes of Creation, and this will become important because they are directly responsible for why you are in Verra. So, first race you have are the humans, and these are split into two types. Every race is split into two types, and the first type of human is the Kalar. Build, order, civilization. These are the foundational principles of the Kalar. Their empire in the old world spanned the largest of all, and they plan to do the same in this world. Extremely loyal to their roots, the Kalar will rise to the challenge. And the other kind of humans are the Vaylun. Trade, law, hardship. The Vaylun were forged in the heat of the desert and came out anew through focusing on trade. Vaylun became one of the wealthiest empires in the world. They are no stranger to the idea of kill or be killed, whether it be the beasts in the harsh desert or the snakes in the market square. And the next race we have are the elves, and the first kind of elves are the Empyrean elves. I'm sorry if I butcher any of these names, I have no idea how to pronounce them. Imperial, pride, culture. Though not as numerous as the Kalar, the Empyreans were a force to be reckoned with. Elite military forces and a highly structured government. The people of Empiria surely have a plan to carve their place in the world. And then the other kind of elves are the Pyrae, nature, balance, fury. All things come to balance in time, and nature always has her way. Don't let their love for nature fool you though. The Pyrae rarely take prisoners, whether it's by bow or by spear. The Pyrae's legacy will take root. Then we have the orcs, and we have two kinds of orcs. The Renkai, honor, power, tranquility. Through staying centered, their power only grows. The Renkai believe in ultimate focus and controlling their immense power. When a Renkai becomes enraged though, there aren't many men or beasts who can live to tell the tale. Then the other kinds of orcs are the Vek, celestial, purpose, fate. When one stargazes, they find what beauty lies beyond our world. When the Vek stargaze, they find what fate lies beyond our time. Star maps, numerology and prophecy are the integral parts of each Vek's life. The great leaders read the heavens and see how wars will go, which empires will rise and fall. And the Veks often ask themselves, are we too late? After this we have the dwarves, and the first kind of dwarves are the Dunir. Stoic, tradition, forge. Most of the peoples from the old world would see a mountain and think nothing of it. The Dunir saw a defensible home where riches abound. The Dunir take immense pride in what they craft and what they build. Fortifications that seem impregnable, warhammers that never break, or beautiful gems for their royalty are all in their repertoire. Don't be deceived by their stout stature. They are pound for pound the strongest warriors the world has ever known. Next up we have the Nakua. Family, freedom, courage. Where the Dunir saw mountains as home, the Nakua saw it as a prison. How could they compete the great hunt inside a cave? The craft of their brothers doesn't elude them though. They too are highly skilled artisans. Instead of jewellery for nobles, the Nakua see crafting as a rite of passage and the advancement of family. Will you progress your people from the mountains of your ancestors? So as you can see, each race has the kind of traditional fantasy element that you might expect, and then you have one that is not what you might expect, well, at least for a fantasy world. So for humans, you've got the ordered heroic humans, and then the trading humans that can be a bit more aggressive. With the elves, you've got the traditional kind of nature elves, like in Lord of the Rings, and then you've got the elves that are all about military. With the orcs, you've got the traditional fighting orcs that get their, berserker rage, and then you've got these celestial, spiritual orcs that do stargazing. It's a lot of S's. Then you've got the dwarves, you've got the standard dwarves that live in mountains and make weapons, and then you've got the other kind of dwarves that are beach-dwelling dwarves that are more of a Hawaiian-based civilization. Now, I did say this would be important, and it will be. So both of the elven civilizations fall under what is called Pyrrhian elves, and these elves were part of an empire called the Tauran Empire that included half-elves, a mixture of once the predecessor to the Aeolian kingdom, the humans, and the Pyrrhian elves, and they had a king called King Atrax. So King Atrax was the last and longest serving ruler of the ancient Tauran Empire, which was once one of the great and first civilizations of Vera. King Atrax was a powerful and advanced wizard for his time, who dedicated the majority of his rule to seeking out artifacts, knowledge, and the focal points of the essence. He discovered its purpose, manipulating matter and exploiting magic for any means. His goal was to achieve immortality, and in this pursuit he discovered that manipulating the life force of a soul essentially increases one's ability to focus the essence, as each person's soul acts as a conduit of the essence across the planes of existence. In his pursuit of immortality, he came across other dark applications of the essence, and in doing so he came into contact with forces that existed outside of the material plane, in the void itself. Unbeknownst to him, these were the Ancient and the Others, who began manipulating that contact through summoning rituals that Atrax had learned in his studies of the essence. Again, if you want to learn about the Ancients and the Others, you can watch my video on gods and demons. This contact prompted the Ancients to begin their pursuit of Vera, which started the process of the Harbingers eventually finding Vera and coming to the planet to pervert what the seven gods had created. Through his summoning rituals, Atrax finally learned how to achieve immortality, but the Ancients were deceptive in actually not informing him how this would deform his conduit that exists with the essence. Atrax eventually underwent a process of becoming the first Lich and the first undead on Vera. It was from this pursuit of immortality that undeath became a reality on Vera. Atrax had begun different rituals on his subjects, which allowed the undeath to propagate across the world, causing suffering amongst his subjects. The Ancients had previously learned from the others how to use the essence to achieve immortality themselves. Unlike Atrax, they became immortal in a pure form, more akin to the godhood that exists amongst the Pantheon, which prohibited them from encompassing this undeath component themselves. This pure form of immortality was not taught to King Atrax. After his lichdom was achieved, Atrax continued to enslave his undead subjects, having them procure ancient artifacts from around the world so that he could further pursue his manipulation of the essence and magic. These artifacts were housed in a vault of Fallows Hold, which is one of the great dungeons in Ashes of Creation, located in the capital city of the ancient Tauran Empire, Toril. So relics are achievements for a node that unlock over time. They allow node citizens to craft certain legendary items and progress in certain legendary questlines. Relics include the 4 ancient artifacts of Vera that were originally discovered by King Atrax in his pursuit of the power of the essence. These artifacts were in close alignment with the essence on Vera due to their proximity to the ley lines of the essence across the world. And the 4 different relics are the Golden Chalice, which is believed to bring everlasting life but was actually allowing the corruption of manipulating the essence to enter the soul through the physical representation of drinking something. Then we have the Crown, which represented a direct link to the Ancients. Then we have the Sword, which brings unusual power through manipulation of the evil side of the essence, which is how Atrax maintained his dominance over his people. Finally, we have the Staff, which enables you to project magic across great distances. Relics will be placed in a node's reliquary, if you get them. Limited access to the relics stored in a node's reliquary are granted to registered attackers after successfully destroying that node in a node siege. So, now you know why you've got this meta questline happening in Vera. But why is Vera completely uninhabited? Where are all these cities and kingdoms that we heard about? And this is because there was something happened called the Fall. Long ago, the world of Vera was besieged by a great calamity, also called the Fall, the Apocalypse, and the Exodus, brought about by the primary antagonists of the world, the Ancients and the Others. So, this begins with celestial-like bodies called the Harbingers arriving on Vera, and these are what brought the Ancient Ones, and they were basically like massive asteroids that crashed into the world, bringing the Ancient Ones on them. However, there was an intervention by the divine goddess of creation, and she opened up gateways all throughout Vera, and the entire population fled through them into a world of magic called the World of Sanctus. Some of the unlucky citizens didn't make it through the gateways in time and fell back to the planet to fight for survival. This underpins the lore behind Ashes of Creation's Battle Royale mode that they had. And you're not coming back soon after this. Thousands of years pass with the gateways not being functional, and over the years history becomes legends, and then even those legends were forgotten. And now, finally, the gateways have opened up again, and you are back. As well as this, some of the people that didn't make it out the gateways fled to the Underrealm, and this is the Underrealm race that we know about called the Tulnar, and they fled there to escape the corruption and the magic and all of the other dangers that had befallen Vera when everyone else escaped. Now they are a combination of the 4 major races and many minor races that were left behind on Vera. Some of the minor races include goblins, ogres, things like that. So you've arrived in Vera, the gateways reopened and no one is quite sure why, but thousands of people are being sent through in order to explore this new world, which is new for you. And the rest of the lore and the story is up to you, because as I'm sure you know if you're watching this video, the world is reactive, so you tell the story and the big world events happen as a result of what you, the players, do. So that is absolutely everything I can tell you about the lore in Ashes of Creation. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already, and have a lovely day.